subscribe to Mchenry Man Show.
Do it! Just do it!
Coming to you from Industry Sound Studio in Modesto, California, it's the Mchenry Man Show.
Living. Another question I had about for you is like is there stuff that you've noticed that's like way different Southern California than it is in Northern California?
Heck yeah, that's like two different states. Like it's wild. The weather's
Such a
crazy
long,
different.
elongated state. It almost takes up the whole West Coast. So
Yeah. Like honestly, like when I'm in SoCal and I see someone from the Bay Area, like I know they're from the Bay Area type of thing. You know what I mean?
Is the way they talk?
By the way they talk, the way they dress, like it's just different. That's like seeing someone in Tim's and being like, "Oh, are you from New York?" Like type of thing. And there's like a good 80% chance they are, or something from the East Coast. Like it's kind of like that. So when I go out there, like because I do a lot of concert series too. So in LA, like it's pretty easy for me to like go in and out of venues, or like, because you know the same people, you see them all the time. But when I did my first show in the Bay Area, I was at a place off of Mission in Frisco. I forgot what it was called. Rockapulco, I think it was. And, like, I walked in, like I usually do, and I got stopped, searched, questioned. And I was like, this is my job. Like, this is what I do. But, yeah, it was just crazy. So I, like, literally had to call their boss, and I was like, hey.
Was it just because it was a different procedure, or just because they didn't recognize you where they recognize you down there?
Yeah.
Okay.
But also on my part, like, it was kind of like, oh, you got to know where you are type of thing. But still, like...
Yeah, my dumb ass, when I went to New York, used the fucking crosswalk button. When I first went there for the job, it took me like 3 days to, like, my body be like, oh, yeah, I remember doing... Oh, fuck this shit. We don't need that, dude. Fuck this guy. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, people were walking right across traffic just to get across the street. And it took me a while because how embarrassing was it? Was like, I just walk up to the crosswalk and it's click. And people are walking back and forth, and the sign still says, like, to stop. And it was like, oh, yeah, I'm sticking out like a sore thumb. Holy shit. Yeah, it takes you a while. So I know that feeling when you should know your place and you're from there. You should know that.
No, but yeah, so it's pretty crazy, like, because I was offended at first. I was like, what the, like, that's just wild to me. But then, like I said, I had to really step back and be like, you know what, they don't know me. I don't know them, type of thing. Plus, it's like a bunch of different people. And then, like, also, like, in the Polynesian community, it's, like, in SoCal, the gang culture is, like, super crazy out there. But when you grow up in it, you're used to it. So, like, Tongans and Samoans don't get along at all. Like, you will never see us together. Like, we don't talk. It's, like, on site 90% of the time. But in the Bay Area, it's completely different. Like, y'all, like, they're friendly out there. Like, it's weird.
Yeah.
But I like it, because I'm not really trying to fight nobody, like, 24/7.
What about you? You been out of state, Cruiser?
No, I haven't not left the state since I was 12. I went to Tijuana and Oregon on a combined, both of those in the same trip. So, yeah, and I've not left since then. I've been to San Diego, San Francisco, up and down the state of California, but I have not left the States, so...
What's the farthest you've been in California?
San Diego, probably.
That's it?
Yeah.
What did you do out there?
Me and a couple of comedy friends went to L.A. We were going to go do various stand-up comedy gigs. We had this manager who apparently, he said he set up all this shizzle for us to do. And then, so we get to L.A., and none of this stuff that he had set up came to pass. Like, he had us... He had us reservations at at some place, at some restaurant during the Golden Globes or whatnot, and we get there, and it turns out we did not have those reservations, and we're gonna stay at this. We're gonna rent a room from this old guy, someplace down in L.A., and we got there. He didn't know who we were. We had no idea who we were, and none of this, these reservations came to pass. So we slept in my car,
Thank you, sister.
Yeah, we slept in my car the first night, seated upright. So that was not good.
No.
Alderman Helena.
Yeah, it was not good.
You made it. You're alive. I'm proud of you.
Yeah.
You missed his San Diego story about how he had to rent a place for an old man.
Yeah, I'm drunk, so I have no idea, what I'm talking about right now.
I love San Diego. That's one of my favorite places.
San Diego, for real?
Yeah.
That's one thing that I noticed, like what you were saying about how like California's like two different states. But yeah, I see it. It's like you go down the more you go down to SoCal, the more like this entertainment.
There's something about
area.
SoCal. Like I
Something
feel so
about it.
relaxed when I'm in Palm Springs. I feel so relaxed when I'm in San Diego.
I know everyone says like Disneyland is a place of happiness. When I went to LA, just LA alone to me was like a whole giant fucking amusement park. That's what I felt. That's why every time I go to LA, that's what I feel like. It's in a giant amusement park. It's not just one little area, two little areas, Disneyland, the convention center. To me, the whole area is one giant Disneyland.
No, there's so many little
American,
pockets of stuff that's just going
to do.
on.
Yeah, there's like any corner you turn, there's something. Construction, entertainment, a bar, car crash, someone talking shit to somebody. There's something always going on. It's so great. When you come up here, it's like wine country, fancy dining, Walnut Creek.
Well, if you do go to Frisco, there's a lot of stuff to do.
Well, Frisco.
It's a compact little place,
Frisco
but there's a lot of stuff going in there.
It's just
going on there.
zoo.
It's just built up.
That's how I think
tall.
of San Francisco. Is one giant fucking zoo.
I don't know what part are you going to.
But a little bit toned down on the Jamaican part. But yeah, that's how I think about San Francisco. It's entertaining, but it's just why I call it a zoo is because you see a variety of people in one place that you're not going to see in any other area of California. You're not going to see that. You're not going to walk down the corner and see a bum, I shouldn't say, a homeless gentleman yelling at you or saying shit. You're not going to see some dude. Sometimes I see punks, like people still dress like, punk rockers. You don't see that anymore, and a lot of times you see like, restrooms are for customers only. Like, holy shit, people still use that. It kind of like brings you back to like, eras that you don't normally see anymore. And that's why I think it was the zoo. It's just different. There's different animals out there. It's crazy, But I love it though. I'm not complaining about it, but I do like it a lot.
Basically, what you're saying is diverse.
It is diverse.
Spot.
Super diverse.
Yeah, it's the capital of diversity.
It is.
I would think in the United States anyway. When you travel back and forth from LA to up here, do you do it by car?
Both. More recently, like I've been driving because honestly, the drive's not that bad. It's like 5 hours. I mean, now I wouldn't because that grapevine is crazy, but it's not like.
Yeah, I've never done it in 5 hours. Maybe if you drive at 2 a.m. or something.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Or like one time, like I was bored. I just left the studio in Hayward, and then I just drove back to LA, and I came back.
F that, I can't handle more than 4 hours. Yeah, I'm done. I can't handle that. That's not for me.
So.
But it's weird because I can do those trips by myself, but when I'm with someone else, like, it's just hard. I think because I have to, like, be more mindful of, like, my speed or my driving or, like, do they need the bathroom? I don't know. Like, I trip off.
See, with me, I
things like
can't.
that.
I can't do a 6-7 hour drive, but I could do a 6 to 7 hour flight. I think it's because the flight, if I take a flight versus a car drive, the flight is going to force me to, like, dude, you got to sit through this. Sorry. You have no fucking choice.
True.
But with the car, I can stop when I want, do what I want.
See, a car, I can set the seat exactly how I want. I can set the temperature exactly how I want, the climate, play the music I want. I can do everything.
6 to 7 hour car drive turns into a 2-day car drive. You know what I mean? Like it
hate
become
that.
the 6 to 7 hour car drive. It becomes a road trip, like 2-3 days when you were supposed to be there in one sitting. So I think for me, it's just easier just to take a plane and just get it over and done with. And then
so you're forced to,
forced
and then
to
plus
actually do it.
Plus,
and
it's also 10
procrastinate
times
along
faster.
the way.
So,
look, sightseeing, and then you're just wasting more time. So.
So I'm not sure if you're aware of Allegiant Airlines up in Stockton. So you have to drive 45 minutes up to Stockton, Allegiant Airlines. But you can take a flight down to LA or I believe San Diego for like $100 each way. So, I mean, if you go alone in a car, that's probably you spend that in gas. So
Yeah, that's true.
Really? 100? That's $200.
it's $100 one way probably, or both ways. I'm sorry.
156 with Delta round trip to LA from SFO.
To where?
My favorite airport
From
ever is
SFO
Oakland.
to LAX, I did 156.
Oh, so Allegiant is closer and cheaper. It's
So it
$100.
should be like $100 round trip then. I
Well-
was like, wait a minute, you're saying this is more expensive?
No, it's closer to us.
Closer to us. Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
That's the only thing about Modesto is like the airport's so damn far. Like once you made it off the plane, like you're like, oh dope. Like you landed,
fine.
you're relieved,
And then you're like,
and then you're
fuck.
45 minutes in the car or like 2 hours in the car.
Hour and a half on BART and then the rest of the way.
Heck
If you
yeah.
want to do it that
I
way.
can't. But I love LAX. Like I remember in LA, I used to go.
That's
for, like,
where I saw
nighttime-
Cheryl Hines.
See LAX magic. No, but like I used to go for like these late night like therapy drives, and for some reason I'd always go to LAX, which is like the most hectic piece of trash like traffic ever.
Oh yeah, traffic's trash.
But I loved it. Like I know that airport like the back of my hand.
I know. I had a 15-minute ride to my hotel. It went from 15 minutes to an hour and 20 minutes just because of the fucking traffic. And he still took the streets, and it was like a stoplight like every block. And I'm like,
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, dude.
It
I'm
takes
never
like
gonna make
3
it there.
hours to get from LA to LA.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
it cost
yeah.
me $70 for a 15-minute ride that turned to an hour. Like, it was ridiculous.
I went for a job interview in Frisco, and it was just a job interview, and I came down and I had to pay like $22 in parking. And this was like 20 years ago,
Dude,
so
it's ridiculous. Now you just use your fast track for a lot of the parking.
yeah, I
lots
wish. No, I don't
Oh,
go
now you
that
can.
often.
there. Now you can.
I don't go often enough to have a fast track. Cruiser, you used to be down in SoCal for a while. Did you travel back and forth, or were you just down there for a chunk? How was
No,
that?
I mean, when I was down there, it was because they had a schizophrenic episode. Was talking to people. Well, I thought I was talking to people on through the TV. I thought they were watching me on hidden cameras in my house. I thought it was the most famous reality show star in the world. And well, and then so I thought we were having these verbal exchanges and whatnot, and so I thought I'd further the storyline by actually going to Hollywood and confronting them. And I wound up, at the first night I was there, I met this black girl, and I'm not racist. I'm just describing her. I mean, it's odd that she's black I don't know.
Why is it odd that she's black?
Well, in a population of mostly white and Hispanic, it stands out, And I thought it was an actress because I was schizophrenic, and so I thought it was a setup situation. Okay. So I'm meeting you. All right. You want to get a hotel room with me? Okay, then. Yes, I'm following the storyline then. That's what I was thinking to myself. They set this up, obviously, why she want to get a hotel room with me. So we get a hotel. We actually go to her wherever she was staying before. We get a bunch of her stuff. She does, and I'm waiting in the car, and she brings it back. And then we go to the hotel room, and we wound up staying in this hotel for like a week. And I didn't fornicate with her. I could have, but I thought it was going to be documented on hidden camera for a sex tape that was going to be released. Yeah, listen, you got to understand, I'm schizophrenic at this
Oh
time.
yeah, that's right.
So I thought there was going to be a sex tape, and that was the reason why they got her to meet me and whatnot, and us have this hotel room situation. I thought there was going to be a sex tape, so I did not try to sleep, even though she did rub my thigh at one point and seductively stared into my eyes, and like I thought, okay, she wants me to fornicate with her, but yeah, I don't want to be on a sex tape, so I'm not going to do that, and so I didn't. But we wound up getting into this. We just did not get along. Like I liked turning on the fan at night, and she didn't like it. Too much racket for her,
That's a
and
big thing.
yeah, and she didn't like it, and we just not clicking, and
for Leah.
and
Everything's
oh
going fine until you turn on the fan.
yeah, and so we were gonna part ways, but she wanted to stay in the hotel and make me leave, and I was like, listen, I got nowhere else to go. You had at least that place where you got all your stuff. Why don't you go back there? And then I was like, in my schizophrenic episode, I was like, I pointed her attention to the air conditioning vent where I thought the hidden camera was, and I go, well, why don't you play because she was a singer, and I was like, okay, play your album for the world right now, and they'll listen to you, and you'll be a big star. Why don't you do that? And then get the F out of my hotel room. And she looked at me with fear in her eyes, like, what's this guy talking about? He thinks there's a camera here? Like, what's he talking about? And, like, I could tell she was scared of me, but it didn't occur to me that she was, because I was having schizophrenia and I didn't know it. And so for that fear, she left and went back to wherever she was. And I'm a wee bit drunk, and I'm lost in this whole thing. Where was I going with this?
I guess the question was like, was it a chunk of time you spent down in LA,
Oh,
and how'd you get back and forth?
Yeah. So then after that, I spent all my money on this hotel room. Nothing left in the bank. So then I was homeless for like 4 months, living on the street on either Sunset Boulevard or Hollywood Boulevard, alternating between the two, sleeping where I could and whatnot. It got so cold I'd have to get up in the middle of the night and jog just to heat my body up. And then I went to jail. That was the whole story in itself. That would just take too long to describe. For 2 months, and then I was put into this cell with the couple of other guys. This black guy, and he's talking to this white guy, and he's telling this white guy, the black guy, "Oh yeah, when I get out of here, I'm just going to take the Greyhound bus. I'm not even going to call anybody. I'm just going to take it back home, and that's all I'm going to do." And to me, that was like, oh, well, they're telling me what to do then for the extended storyline here. That's what they're suggesting I do. And I had the YouTube channel that I have, and it had made a certain amount of money in it, but I didn't know at the time. And so, just based upon this, I thought they were telling me, okay, take the Greyhound bus back home. So when I was released, I was not too far away from a Greyhound station, so I just went there assuming I had enough money for the ticket, and I did, and I went back home.
So it was just one big chunk of time that you were down there?
6 months.
Okay.
Yeah.
And for those months, you were homeless?
Yeah.
And what?
Living
Two
on
months
that?
you were in jail?
Yeah.
Well, at least you had a place to stay.
Well, I mean, for like three or
I can't go back to meals. You
Three
can't
hots and
complain
a
about
cot.
that.
for a couple of weeks, I was in a hotel room. But then after that, I was homeless and then in jail.
Why they arrest you?
Oh, look at you now.
Because I thought because I was this big reality star, the most famous reality star in the world, I thought they owed me free food. So I had this craving for Mexican food. I went to this Mexican restaurant and ordered a burrito, and I was gonna like dine and dash and not pay them. I was gonna eat the burrito and get out of there. And they knew that I looked homeless. I had a beard and I was not dressed too well and whatnot. So they were gonna make me pay before the meal. So, I got mad and upset, and I threw a couple of chairs and kicked over a sign, and then I ran, and the owner chased me, and with her cell phone, she was going to take a picture of me, and I turned around and slapped the phone out of her hand, so she couldn't take a picture of me, and,
So assault.
yeah,
that's
assault.
assault.
And then I took off running again, thinking I'd get away, but then the cops, were there for some reason and had stopped me, and... at the time I thought, okay, they were following me the whole time because this was a whole big storyline. And no, I don't even know how they happened to come upon me. But yeah, they did and arrested me.
Yeah, the reason I asked is because you were talking about being down there once, and I remember saying, or I was chatting with you while you were doing a live stream. I'm like, if I was living down in LA, I'd be on the beach.
Yeah, I was just in Hollywood. I mean, the beach, I don't know where that would
No, I mean, if
been.
I'm homeless, like, why would you be homeless in Hollywood when you can be
Because
on the
I
beach?
was waiting, because what I was waiting for, I thought somebody was going to contact me to be in a movie or in a TV show. I thought there was a storyline. Yeah, I was there to attack Hollywood, but as part of a show. Like, I didn't think I wasn't going to hurt them. I just was going to confront them, and they would be, oh, okay, here's your TV show or your movie. Like, yeah, I was delusional. Yeah, I don't have those things.
That'd be dope if it was that easy.
Yeah, I don't have
YouTube
those.
makes it that easy.
It's kind of, yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Yeah, my friend's been doing it. Well, don't say friend, a person I know. He's been doing it for 10 years. And yeah, now he does a voice act. Comedy Central just signed him, and he has his own. He has a third season of his show on another streaming platform. And
Yeah,
all just
look at
because he was doing YouTube.
Uh-huh.
What did you get signed for on Comedy Central?
Bits, like here and there. Like those commercials that they do for, they just give you like a 30-second commercial, but it's just him doing like a bit. Well, it's not really big yet.